It's all for you. Yeah, yo. There whenever it matters, and even more when you feel like it doesn't. Protect you so you never feel like you wasn't. Know I'm right alongside you. Either that or I'm behind you, but always got you. End the discussion, nothing means more. First one to offer is shoulders for what you reach for. Thought I saw the eyes of the world until I seen yours. And know that I ain't see a better view yet. I'm with whatever, so don't ever you fret. Know that you covered, not a hurdle or a heartbreak. A change what a partake, cause none of them won't ever get comfortable in your walkway. My job is to aware you, fully loaded, prepare you for all of the above that I'm never letting get near you. But still in all, give you every advantage I found. Couldn't find a better fit for them, along with my crown. And since the baton was passed, I've been down. Cause failing's not an option, and dad is not a noun, not at all.
This episode of Dad is Not a Noun is sponsored by the Real Dads Week 2021. Honoring Black fatherhood worldwide, sharing honor, sharing love, celebrating real dads, starting June 5th to June 12th, organized by the Real Dads Network. Amazing week aimed at acknowledging and recognizing fathers and father figures who are extraordinary role models and play such a vital role in the success of children. The Real Dad Network is the only organization in the country that celebrates fathers for a whole week. They started with Black Father Week in 2008, but moved to Real Dads Week to be more inclusive, but their focus is still Black fathers. During these 10 years, they have given over 250 awards to fathers. They have been blessed to collaborate with many fatherhood organizations, community organizations, churches, politicians, and many individuals who fight every day to uplift fathers. To register for Real Dads Week 2021, the link in the description below.
Therefore we build. We're coming from right now. Me and Khaliyl. Yeah, just dropping that freestyle. This is what we day do all day long. Yeah, so here we come again. Bring it back up. We're standing there.
And welcome to Dad is Not a Noun. My name is Ishmael. I hope everyone's doing all right. I have a very special guest with me. I'm gonna let this brother introduce himself. The video that you just saw went viral ages ago. Alan gave the family love. So I'm here. Was it 9 years later almost? Or more than 9 years?
Yeah, about 9 years. About 9 years. He's 11 now, so yeah, that's 9 years ago.
So I'm gonna let this brother introduce himself. Brother, the stage is yours.
Okay, my name is Femi. I'm also known as FERO. Married 25 years. I'm a rapper stroke producer stroke animator. I do websites, apps, flyers. I program as well. And yeah, that's me in a nutshell. And everything has come in between, literally that spectrum. Everything has come in between that. But I just keep busy. I'm very active. And yeah, that's how you have to be in London. London's a jungle. So, you have to be educated. And I did the work that needed to be done to get myself where I needed to be.
I feel you, and I equate your family similar to. I don't know if you compare this family, but I can see the similarities. I see your family similar to the Simmons here in the States, to you guys in the UK, because you are
Yeah.
Media Mogul, where you're into music, movies, animation, books, all that. But before we touch on that a little bit, how you and your family been doing in COVID? What have you learned in this COVID world?
For us, there was not much change, simply because we're self-reliant anyway. My kids have never been to school. They're homeschooled. I kind of handle my business myself. So obviously, we're spending a lot more time together in the house, and we couldn't go out for a while. But change for us was very minimal. So they were still in the same routine, get up every morning to go to school in the sitting room, So, but obviously around a few people passed away, and you're watching the news and you're seeing everything that's happening in the world. And it just teaches you that we need to be more self-reliant, I guess. We need to be more self-reliant. So many people lost their jobs, so many people lost their homes, the economy crashed. So, but we're coming back slowly.
That's good. And what I love about your family is that you guys are rooted in discipline. Like that video that went viral with
Mm,
that's the middle child, Khaliyl.
yeah.
Uh, like you could just see the discipline in his flow.
Mm,
The pattern, like he's like "Duh, but he's on beat, and that's
yeah.
not by accident. That's got to be taught. So can
Mm,
can you
mm.
talk about that? Because I think that's important. That importance of discipline.
So, I mean, with Khalil, so Khalil's not the first child to go viral. Our
Hmm.
first child went viral before we knew what YouTube was and everything. So my wife got scared, like, why has he got 250,000 views? So this was 16 years ago. So, but what that was it was my relationship with my children. The minute they were born, I had them on my back, African style on the
I
back. I
remember
wrapped
that
him
photo.
up
That
with
photo
me.
went viral. I remember that photo, and I'm like,
Yeah,
who is this brother? Because that's the
yeah,
one thing I hate about social media is like people will take photos but don't put in the tag where they originally get the photo from.
yeah. So there was a bonding. Now, I didn't really understand why that was done. But when I did it, I realized that there's a bonding process that happens. And we were so close. Like what I realized, me and my son were so close. And when I was rapping, they just wanted to like, Daddy does it. I want to do it because I we had that bond. And I think that's what people are seeing. So it's not so much a discipline. I think it's just the bond. It's a tight relationship between a father and son. And yeah, I realized that they imitated everything that I was doing. So he heard me on floor. It's like I would be freestyling because I rap all the time. So when he's hearing Daddy freestyling and he's hearing the patterns that I'm doing on the beat, so he started doing it. So when that video came out, at the time I could understand what he was saying because
Wow.
he's copying my flow. But as time has gone, I've totally forgotten it. But at the time, I understood his language. I could pick out certain parts of what he was saying.
Wow. That's dope because it goes back to the early thing I was saying is, you have that connection, and through that connection, you build that commitment.
Yeah,
And with your three kids, is that they whatever they do, they are committed to the process.
yeah,
Like your oldest, like he's an extraordinary producer.
yeah. I mean,
Like the accolades, talk about it.
when his beats come out, because I mean, he's probably a better producer than I ever was, but that is the goal. That was the goal. But so I got them into computers. So I got them all a computer from the age of 2. I just sat them in front of a laptop. So, and then part of homeschooling was learning to code, HTML, learning to read. Obviously, there's a lot of videos on reading books, history books, not just kiddies books. Um, learning to animate, learning to program. I believe that this is the future. I even teach them cryptocurrency, even though that's crashed right now and it's terrible. So they learn that because their money's in there, so they've lost out financially as well at the moment as it stands. But I believe they need to know these things. And the funny thing about children is you can't tell my children they can't do anything because they don't process it can't be done. So they're thinking, wait a minute, daddy's animating. Oh, can you put that animation software on my laptop because I want to animate? And they're sitting there, as complex as it is, they're asking the questions, they're doing it because I'm doing it. And until you teach them, you can't do that. That's not in their that's not in their thinking. Like they've been performing in front of thousands of people. they don't have that. It's not programmed in them that that's a couple thousand people. You're not supposed to do that, and they haven't learned any of those things that you're taught in school or through certain things. They haven't programmed that yet, and they've got to the stage where I think it's too late to kind of reverse it.
But and that's
Yeah.
the beauty, that's the great thing about it is that you taught them at an early age that you know
Mm.
what, whatever you want to do, you can do it. But also, what I appreciate what you and your wife have done is that one of my favorite sayings, not my sayings, but I've heard someone say it before, was don't raise the kid that you want, raise the kid that you have. And
Yeah.
so I love what you guys do is that you don't force things on them. You let them be kids if they're
Yes.
curious, and you give them the best resources so they have the best advantage
Yeah.
whatever they decide to do. So, kind of talk about that a little bit more, which I know you already did, but can you kind of touch on it a little bit more?
So repeat the question.
No, I was saying that saying that don't raise a kid you want, raise the kid that you have.
Oh, gotcha. Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that's what you guys do with your kids.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah. I mean, I definitely you have to raise the kid you have because they're all different, and you just have to raising the child is just being aware, Because I remember one stage they used to say, "Oh, where's your good child?" Wait a minute, I've got three. I've got three. So if you're saying one is a good child, what you're really saying is the other two are bad, or the
mm,
other two are not as good as the middle child. So when I see little things like that, number one, I sat them down, I spoke to them, and number two, I made a deliberate decision to people don't even know who's who anymore. They're just, oh, this those kids, who's who? Khalil's the middle one, because they kept saying you're good child when they're all good children. So I just blended it together, So you have to be smart and know each individual child. They're all different, but definitely you need to raise the child you do have, and you need to be aware of their characteristics, their personality. They might want to do something today, they might not want to do it tomorrow. The attention, obviously, going viral was good, performing was good, but they're kids. So it's a case of where, "Oh, okay, this is good, they're getting bigger, but as a father, this is not the right route now because they're getting too big and they're too young. They're
right.
too young for it, you know. So one of the things I did was I put a pause on the performance and the videos and everything because they're young kids, and I'm not making that mistake.
No, I definitely understand that because you want them to be kids. You want them to enjoy their youth. Because what
Yeah,
happens sometimes is that when you get kids that become famous, they have to grow up real fast, and it's not fair. It's not fair to them.
I think it also messes up your thinking process. The attention. You think you're better than someone else. Or you have this thing where you haven't really lived in reality. You've been, where people are just hyping you, making your head bigger, and you're just not balanced. You need to be balanced. You need to be humble. You need to serve. And being a child, having money, having been able to get what you want, and adults, sucking up to you can sometimes influence their behavior.
Mm,
So I realized that no, no, there's beautiful things you can do that the world's not going to clap for you and put you on a pedestal, but your wife or your friends and they will appreciate it. Or later on, they'll see when you come back and when they see the skills they have, they'll appreciate that. Wow, these guys have been working.
definitely. And then also talk about your relationship with your wife when it comes to parenting. Like, who's the bad cop and who's the good cop? Or you guys are how does
Um, You know, uh, I there's a program. I'm not sure if it shows in America, but in London it's called Super Nanny.
mm,
There's a way of you can do things. You can talk to your child. You can explain to them why things are wrong. You can deal with things in a they understand, they process things. So there's not so much good cop or bad cop. It's a case of if you do something wrong, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to explain it to you, and I try to hit things in advance. One of the
Mm,
things I did was like there's a program on Netflix called Money Explained. I sit down and I explain to them finances, APR. I advise them. I don't tell like I advise them because they're like grown men.
right.
Like I advise, I say, look, watch this program, and they ask the questions. This is APR. People are borrowing money, they're paying interest. I explain it to them. So they're like little men. So there's no need to be good cop or bad cop. They know, we have an arrangement. There's a routine in place. You wake up, you read your book, you do this, you can have your PlayStation, and then back to this. And there's a routine. We just follow the routine through, so on and so forth. The bad stuff is partly my fault. I let them watch wrestling. So when they're fighting and I'm shouting and da da da, but I know I'm to blame because I'm the one putting on wrestling and I suplexed them and I got the belt. So I can't really get too, because I know that that's something else that I installed in that,
Yeah,
you know.
and I think that's the one thing too, especially in America. What happens is not all parents, but some parents they don't explain it. They just say it's my way. It's like, okay, why can't I do it? Because I said so. I'm like, that's not enough. As a kid, you're like, that's not enough. Can you elaborate more? So I love how you said, you know what? I explain it like the stove, right? You touch the stove, it's hot. Let me explain why it's hot. This is the reason why you don't touch the stove. So I think that's a significant part. I think that plays. You have to explain that to your kid. But what I love about you, man, you're like their biggest hype man. Like the couple of videos I've seen them on stage, and you're like going, you just
Yeah.
get into it. Talk about
Yo,
it.
you know what it is? Yeah. They haven't learnt fear, but I have. So when I know they're going on TV and they're going to perform in front of thousands of people, yeah, they're confident and everything, but I'm not, because I know the reality. I'm thinking, you know, so I think it's just me panicking. But I'm still shocked to be a dad. I'm still at that
Why?
stage. Because I don't know. Like, I'm still shocked. Like, I'm amazed. What they do, I'm amazed. When they couldn't read, I remember when my son was like, I can't read. I hate this, blah, blah. Then I'm seeing him reading. And then the other day, I was just looking at him. I think it was the end of End Games, the movie, and he's just reading all the names. And I just remembered when he was like, I can't read. And I don't know. I think that I can't get over the fact that I'm a dad. And that's just the truth. I never got used to it. I never
Wow.
got used to it. The feeling you have when you first held your child, I think that feeling just didn't go away for me. I've just been amazed. And then for one to go viral, two to go viral, three to go viral, never been to school. And then now he's going to college, and he's going to go to university, see how intelligent he is you know, to see my son more intelligent than I am is just it's beautiful. Like he's doing everything I'm doing, but he's doing it even better than I ever could.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Because the reason why I created this platform is I'm not a father, but I'm a
Mm,
great fan of fathers like yourself. So I created it as a way so you guys can tell your story. Because sometimes the media tell your story for you, and there's no platform out there for you to tell your story. And then also,
mm,
it's dedicated to my dad too. Um, he wasn't biologically my father, but he was there. He was my
mm.
first superhero. Um, he had recently passed away this year,
Oh,
and
sorry about that, man.
yeah, but it was kind of weird because we didn't have a relationship with each other for almost 2 years because something happened between me and him, and we just
Mm,
broke off the relationship. He always tried to reach out to me, and I was like, I'm not trying to hear it. And what kind of hit me the most was the way I found out. I had found out through Facebook.
mm,
That's how I found out. But to go back to it's just as being in a child and having those memories with him, like watching wrestling. He was the first to teach me the birds and the bees. So as a
mm.
son, looking back, you embrace those moments. So I'm thinking right now, your three sons, as they become their own men, they go back to those moments with you. So
Mm,
I can kind of feel that they have that same vibe as you too.
mm. Wow. Yeah. Wow.
And it's a beautiful thing, man. It's awesome. But let's talk about your journey. What about you? You know, growing up. You know, was your father around? How was your life growing up?
I think that's probably the reason why I'm so the way I am because I never grew up with my father. So, and my mum had like four jobs. So she was out like 6 in the morning, coming back at 6 in the evening. Um, my brothers were sent back home to Africa. So growing up, I spent a lot of time by myself. And I remember what actually had a great influence on me was Bill Cosby. I used to watch I used
Mm,
to love Cosby Show. I used to
yes.
love Different World. And I think I wanted to be like Bill Cosby when I was
Mm,
growing up. I always thought like that's what I want because I didn't have it. I didn't know, but that's what I wanted. And I went for it. Literally as a child, I think I was 13. I programmed myself like that's what I want. And that's how I wanted to deal with my kids because I didn't believe in all this beating your kids, smacking them, and then justifying it with the Bible. And yeah, the Bible says beat your kids, so you should beat your kids. And then I'm watching a program on TV. The people that beat their kids, they got nowhere with them. And the people that sat down, there's a way of disciplining your children without having to put your hands on them. The chair works just as well. Taking away the PlayStation, sitting on the corner, it's worked. This woman went and did a whole um, TV program on just disciplining them properly, and you see results. And most times, the problem the child has was from the parents.
no,
So,
no, and it's crazy that you bring up Bill Cosby. I think the power of Bill Cosby is that never once he said black family. He just said family.
yeah.
Because you know how we live in a world of algorithms, right? There's black
Hmm.
fathers, black this, which is important. But to me, you can highlight black fathers without saying father, without saying black fathers. You can
Mm,
show that image and just say father. And I think that's what made Bill Cosby so successful was with the Cosby Show and a different world.
yeah.
Different World wasn't a black university.
No.
It was a prestige university with black students.
Yeah.
What he did so masterfully was he normalized it
Yes, he
without
did.
saying it.
Yeah. Yeah. He did.
And I think that's powerful. And that's why our generation, because I'm probably the same age as you,
Mm,
that's why it was so important to us because of that. You know, it wasn't
yeah.
it was there, but it wasn't, you know how when you're growing up, your parents tell da. It wasn't like that. It was
Mm,
settled. And you
yeah.
appreciated it a lot more because it was just settled. It was there.
Yeah, we had never seen nothing like that before. A doctor and a lawyer,
Right.
a doctor and a lawyer, in that beautiful house with those amazing. It was beautiful. At the time, I remember the feeling. I remember running home just to sit down. I used to tape it on the VHS, watched it over again. I even watched it recently with them
Wow.
to explain. So, just had to separate the program from the actual man,
Yeah,
separate it. It doesn't take away from the impact it had.
definitely, definitely. And that's the one thing too. People have complicated lives. You know, you can separate the two. You can separate the messenger from the message. And
Yes.
sometimes, especially in America, we don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
You know. But talking about what I was talking about earlier about, how I feel like you guys are similar to the Simmons
Mm.
family and just work ethic and just creating this media group.
Yeah.
He did a project with his son, Joe. With you did a project with JoJo Simmons,
Yes. Yeah.
Run's son, JoJo.
Yep. Jojo. Yep.
Talk about that. It was for go for Ghost,
Yeah.
right? Talk about that.
Yes. So me and Jojo got together. Um, he started a record label. So I was helping him out with his record label, and we did a song. So I did a song, and yeah, after we did the song, it got picked up by Power, and it was in the program. It was just literally that simple. And obviously, Khaliyl had gone viral. So everything we were doing was just catching fire at the time. So the minute we put the track out, it got into power. My wife's album went really high in the iTunes charts. So we just couldn't do nothing wrong back then. We just had everything. Everything was just being juggled at the same time. I mean, it was crazy. Our number was on the internet. We were getting phone calls from, China. It was mad. But yeah, so we worked together for a while, myself and Jojo. And yeah, so he's still working on his label. And yeah, we're still literally working together.
That's dope, man.
So at some stage, we're gonna try and do something else. But he's been busy and I've been busy.
Definitely. It didn't if everything goes back to normal, you think you guys will probably get together and do like a family tour?
Um, See, everyone's in a different space at the
Yeah.
moment. Kian's really concentrating on his production. The kids are really concentrating on the PS4. So every time, like, I think when they want something, they'll probably get back on it. But right now, they've got everything they need. So what am I rapping for and have to go to
Right?
shows? I
I
don't
got
want
my
to go to those
PS4.
shows. I've got all the games. I got PS4, this and that. Probably when they need the PS5, then Daddy, can I do a video? um, yeah. So the wife she's doing her own thing. She's doing like her classes. She's running her own business. But we've been talking about doing something. I think it will take a while, but we're definitely gonna do something. Kian's probably gonna be the first one up because I see him just producing some amazing beats, which I feel he really has to get out there. He's
Definitely.
making he's making me want to quit. He makes me
Wow.
want to quit. Yes, yes.
Like
He's
you want
got
to hang
the
up your jersey? You gonna
uh,
retire? I say you gonna make you
well, I'm
retire.
gonna quit making beats because he's better than me. He's better than me. He's got the MIDI keyboard. He's just there in his room. He's got his screens and he's just there. And then my wife is like, Femi, come and hear this beat. And she's picking all these beats for her album. I'm not getting no pick, Yes, we can do a son and a son and a mum album.
What?
So they're not even looking at me.
Uh, Seriously, do me a favor.
Yes.
Can you send me a beat? I will send that to Mom Dukes.
Okay.
Jay Dilla's mom.
Okay. I'll,
I
I'll
will
get
send
something
it
over
to
to
her
you.
because she is a fan of just talented kids, man.
Okay.
Her life work is just having a platform for talented young kids to thrive.
Yeah.
So yeah, send that over, man. I'll send that to her, man.
Yeah,
That's
I need to get him. I'm gonna speak to him again. He needs to really. I think the world would be shocked. I think the world would be shocked. He sounds like Jay Dilla,
mm,
Kanye.
wow.
He sounds like a Jay Dilla, Kanye,
Because
and
I've
he.
heard some of his beats. He is very. I heard some of his beats. He has a good ear. He has
Oh,
a
he's completely on the next level now. He's completely on the next level now. Where I'm like, if it wasn't my son, I'd be like,
Sorry, I know.
damn, damn. My wife is just like, I'm picking that one, I'll take that one and that one. I'm like, no, like, come on, come here. I got something. I'm trying to play her beat. She's not even responding.
He's like that. I got you all hold, man. You're on the waiting list. You're on the waiting list.
Oh man. But it's a good feeling. Absolutely beautiful feeling.
And it is. And tell me what you're doing now, because you got your own platform now that you launched or you're about to launch.
Yeah, so I've launched it. So basically, I'm working. I've actually built the app. I've
Mm.
built the website. It's probably like World Star Hip Hop, but it's
Oh,
got an app. So I'm working to get it totally on. It's on Google Play Store, but I think it's going to be launched on the 1st of June, and then I'm doing the app for and the Apple. So that's the app side of things. So that's going up because I got fed up of social media. To really promote, you need to pay your money now. you know, and they're really capitalizing. I think social media is the biggest record label,
No, it
you
is.
know. So I just feel like we have to build our own. We need our own platforms. We can't keep relying on these platforms because when we need to say something, they can say, you know what, you're banned from saying that. You're not allowed to say that, and you don't own this platform. And rightly so. They're allowed to do that because it's their platform. We don't own it.
Yeah.
So what I'm establishing now is owning the whole pipeline from making music to
Mm.
it getting to the consumer, create the whole pipeline where I don't need to venture outside. I think someone tried it. What's his name? The singer stroke rapper. Ryan Leslie had
Yeah,
something
yeah.
similar.
He tried to, yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, he tried to do that. But I think it'll be difficult because, it's money. You have to keep throwing money at it. So what I did was I bought the whole load of books and I just read all the books. I
Mm.
read books on animation. So all the animation you're seeing is a lot of books, the programming, everything. So I do it all. I do it all, and I get the kids to help. So they help with the animation sometimes, and yeah. So that's really the plan, and then to really sign some artists, work with some artists. I want to travel a bit more. I just want to do more because I've got all the skills, the talent. Like I don't rely on anybody to do anything.
Right.
Like there's no relying on anyone. We can do everything from home. We got to power from home
Yeah.
working on the laptop. The kids took over the whole internet from home and trying to just create that pipeline so I can reinvest in my community, my people. I want to do more projects. I don't know, go into prisons and talk to, the young people there. And yeah,
Yeah, and I think that's the important thing too, is that community is a big important role. But I feel like what happens is we live in a world where everybody's all about their brand. It's like if it doesn't make sense with my brand, I'm not fucking with you.
mm,
So at the end of the day, it should be about community and uplifting everybody. Sometimes it's not about, what can I get out of it? You know, at,
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's bigger than ourselves.
yeah, yeah. That mentality is going to get us nowhere. We have to support each other. We really do. We have to support each other internationally, and really collaborate, start linking businesses. That's what I was doing with Jojo. We linking here, linking there, establishing good trading, working practices, being honest and really investing money back. I think Nipsey Hussle had that mentality, and I think Master P's got that mentality.
Yeah,
Master P, mostly, and I think Nipsey got it from Master P,
yeah,
and I think that's the line I want to walk down.
yeah,
I
definitely. And
I believe, you know, I think that man, when he passes away, people are going to see the amount of work that he did. If they thought Nipsey was bad,
yeah,
I think they'll realize Master P was.
ahead
There's
of
nobody like that man.
yeah, ahead of his time. Because if you think about it, you go back to even like Dr. King after he signed, after they played a major role of getting the civil rights bill done. He could have been like, you know what, I'm gonna go back and work at my father's church, make my money, you know, see my children raised and live a good life. I did my job, whatever. But he saw something bigger, and that's why he started working on the poor people movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And see what happened with that. He gets
yeah,
assassinated, and that's the end. But he
yeah,
saw he saw the bigger picture, and there's a few human beings in our life that has that vision, and usually what happens is that their life get cut down short.
yeah. Or they just get. I forgot his name because we don't really watch basketball as much here. I can't remember his name, but there was a basketball player that came out with his own shoe, and I think it was very cheap.
Stephon Marbury,
And
Marbury.
for other basketball players, like being on this side in London, for other basketball players to put down his shoe because it's cheap, because it's trying to help like people living in poverty.
Yeah,
It down here, it just seems like what's going on over there?
it's
Like, why
just
can't people see the vision? And
it's
then
not
he had to go to China.
Yeah, it's not the vision, it's just the slave mentality. Like when you're have that slave mentality that, a value of someone else is more than the value of what your own people make, and you see the in the bigger picture of it, you're gonna go back to what you're so used to. And unfortunately,
Mm,
we're kind of in America, it's kind of that way, to be honest with you. That's the
yeah.
reality we live in. And I think that's the importance of affirmation and representation, and what you're doing with your kids and your wife is showing that excellence, that it could be done. You can do it at home. You don't need, you know, the guys in the big corporate buildings to be successful. If you have a
Yeah.
laptop, you have a blueprint, it's possible.
Hands down. Yep, I totally agree. And I think that's another reasons why I'm starting the site is because a lot of the knowledge I have, number one, I want to pass it on, and useful information I want to put on there. I mean, I've already put quite a lot on there, and I think that people just being on there will get inspired because there's so many ways of doing things. There's so many ways of getting things done. It's just that sometimes people don't want to show you because you become competition.
Yeah. And
That's what it is. You become competition. So it's like, nope, I'm not gonna help you. And I got a different mentality. I believe that if everyone's doing the same thing, they raise the market. And I just think it's generally better for everyone. It's better for everyone. Having a few people that could rap would not benefit hip hop. Yeah, you might rap and make some money, but if there was only 5 rappers, 10 rappers, having millions and all the rappers is now what is driving the market to be $1 billion industry,
yeah,
which we make God knows what percentage
right,
because we don't own the labels.
yeah. And that goes back to understanding how it works, because we need generation to learn the technical parts of it.
Yeah.
Like, how you gonna be a rapper, but at the same time, you could be a mixer, you could be a
Mm-hmm.
producer, you could be into like marketing, public relations. Those are things that's a part of that ecosystem. So to,
Yeah.
to teach the generation about the whole ecosystem we call as hip hop, I think it will be important, especially when you talk about the fatherhood world. And I think a lot of people are jumping into that now, especially when it comes to Black fathers.
Mm.
There's a history on that, but a lot of people are jumping into it now. But my ultimate goal with this is to break down that wall when it comes to fatherhood on a global level, because I
Yeah.
still feel like we have these borders when we talk about fathers in the United States compared to the fathers around the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
Wow.
what I'm trying to do. I'm doing my part, man. But
Yeah.
before I let you go, man, I enjoyed this conversation. Thank you. Um, can you tell me what's the importance of affirmation to your kids? Because before we end, I'm gonna play a track, which is my favorite track. It's called "I'm a
Mm.
King,"
Yeah.
with your three kings just
Yeah.
blazing. So I'm gonna end off the show with that. But before I end it off with that, talk about that, the importance of affirmation.
Affirmation, especially for a child, for me is what is built on the template of their heart.
Mm,
So the actual foundation, the template, once you have engraved it in stone with your affirmation, sometimes by the time, no matter where they go, no matter what they're told, they're not going to believe. They're going to go, no, that's not me. You're a nigga. No, that's not me. I know who I am. I know who I am. I think there's a video. There's a video. You should see it. I'm gonna try and send you the clip where um Britain's Got Talent asked Khaliyl to come on. And I said to him, what about if they don't accept you? He said, I don't care. I know I'm good. I know I'm good. Doesn't matter. If they accept me, they accept me. If they don't accept me, it's their loss. I said, what about if they take you and they take your brother? He goes, I know my brother's not going to take it. Like, they need to take both of us. If they don't take both of us, it's not going to happen. I know he's going to say no. So once that affirmation is in, it ain't coming out.
Facts. And it's gonna tell in this video I'm about to play by the Three Kings called I Am King. And we out. Peace.
I'm the king out here. I'm the king out here. My bars are like Godzilla. I shine so bright, I'm a winner. I got the beautiful rap flow. Khaliyl, it's the number one for real. I do my work and I always do excellent. See me, see you, my power is the element. 5 years old, I will grow, and the world will know I rule the show. Don't get touched when I'm on the pitch, daddy's in the queue. Mom said my rhymes are rich. I'm the king, I'm the one. I'm the king, I'm the one. I'm the king out here. I'm invincible around here.
Young person to ever feature on Charlie's Got Rapper.
I'm invincible around here. I'm a king out here, invincible around here. Education is the first thing around here. I become the mathematics, equations, and now I'm saving. Written language, key, and I become the pages. History at my fingertips because I'm genius. Wanna see me when I'm learning like a little senior. Pen to paper, my lyrics are the agent. Listen up, yeah, represent danger. I'm the king out here. I'm invincible around here. I'm the king out here. I'm invincible around here. I'm the king out here. I'm invincible around here. I'm the king out here. 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 I'm invincible around here.
Young
I'm the
person
king
to ever
out
feature.
here.